It was my Everest, the highest peak, the greatest challenge, and something I thought I'd trained for, that I was ready for. My journey had started off, innocently enough, 3 years beforehand. I needed to get out of the house. There were preschoolers that were driving me crazy and a slightly claustrophobic expat condo. I didn't even know any locals, so I decided to join the Toastmasters Club of Singapore because it just ticked all the boxes. Personal development, get out of the house. I started a bit wobbly at first, you know, struggled through those impromptu speeches they make you do, and got far more commendations. No, wrong. Recommendations and commendations. It wasn't my best work, but I worked at it. And about 6 months later, I applied to work at an international relocations company. They said, no positions, but how about you be a workshop presenter? I got paid to speak. And then a few months later, the club asked me to start doing evaluations. So now I was having the joy of passing on my knowledge and helping other people. But it was with kind of a casual, I'll just see how it goes attitude, that I entered the 2013 Toastmasters Club of Singapore evaluation contest. I knew I wasn't going to win. I wasn't, because there was Kim. He was a multi-competition winner in all the different kinds of speeches. There was Oh Hock Chong, competition winner and professional coach and trainer. And the delightful Avi Leren, who just constantly delighted everyone with his speeches, and I was sure was going to delight the way into the judges' hearts. So I was not going to win. However, my mentor thought I could. Manoj came up to me saying, Diana, do you know what the competition's about? Do you know how they score? No. 10 points for the conclusion, Diana. 10 points. You must have a really good conclusion. Okay, good conclusion. Okay, good conclusion. Well, that was my reaction, somewhat inappropriately, when they announced me as the winner. I didn't even know if I could go to the next round. I had to check my diary. I could, so I practiced and I rehearsed and I used Manoj's templates and I practiced and I rehearsed, and off I went to the area competition. At the areas, I realised that, well, my club had got me up to quite a high standard, and I was very proud when I got announced the winner. But then we were on to division, and that's where the competition heated up. I was unsure to this day whether what made me win or not. But I did win, and I don't know why. Maybe just because I was white and English was my first language, I stood out. Who knows? But that meant that I and my friend Kim, who won the humorous speech contest, were off to the nationals. Oh, I'm sorry, internationals, because Thailand had an entry, don't you know? We were off. I practiced and I rehearsed. I got my skills just right. If I take you back to that climbing analogy, think of it as a climber that had to get all his climbing skills just right. Off I went. Hello, I'm here for the evaluation contest. Just the contest? Yes, just the contest. Not the whole semi-annual convention. No? Was I supposed to? Oh, all I'd done is notice that it was at the Chu La Lum Club. I figured the club probably seated a couple of hundred people. Open the double doors. As the locals would say, wow. The club seated 500 for dinner, and there in front, it was 600 people, and they were all looking at a stage, and everyone on the stage had headset microphones. Oh boy. So it came for the time. I sat down. Where's the tables, I kept saying? All the other competitions had tables. Where's the tables? By the time I was sitting down, I looked at the lady and went, that's not a speech. That's a one-woman play. How am I going to make recommendations out of that? Up to the holding area we went, and I started to pace. If you can imagine, I paced and I paced. I tried to figure out what I was going to say. Eventually, I gave up. I thought I'd go and talk to my friend Tom. Just a hint, talking to a CSP does not calm your nerves before a competition. My 2.5 minutes went by with a flash. I don't really remember it, but it wasn't until I saw Manoj's face afterwards that I got the first hint that something had gone wrong. Oh, that was a good recommendation, Diana. Thanks, Manoj. But, and we all know what happens with buts, I think you went over time. You've been disqualified. That was it. I was out of here. I wasn't going to hang around. I wasn't going to stay for the prize giving. I burst into tears in the toilets, composed myself. But I can tell you it took me days of licking the wounds. Okay. It took me weeks, probably about 5, before I actually decided to get it back on the proverbial horse and give another evaluation. I was devastated with that loss because it was my Everest, remember? That was my peak. That was my chance to get to the summit and do really well. But I learned from that. I learned from round 1, the power of a great conclusion. I learned from round 2 that if you surround yourself with great people, your standards lift. I learned from round 3 no, I didn't really learn anything from round 3. But round 4, I learned a lot. But the most important thing was that I learned from Manoj. He said to me in an email, Diana, someone asked me why you're so good, why you're getting ahead. And I had to tell them it wasn't because of my coaching, it wasn't because of my templates, it was because you were coachable, Diana. Gosh, how I wish I'd been coachable in the last round. You see, 3 other contestants had paid Manoj to coach them right up to that last point. And I hadn't. I just had to learn the hard way about the event. I needed to stay coachable. But that's the great thing about public speaking skills. As long as you're coachable, as long as you're willing to learn, then you can improve. Because they're not for the elite, they're not for the highly educated only, they're for everyone. Anybody can get good at public speaking skills if they're coachable. And that's the even better thing, because now they're not only the thing that leaders need, they're most definitely one of the big things that set managers apart from their cohorts, and they're also the thing that people look for in graduates. Public speaking skills, anybody can have them. It's my mission now to help women get better at public speaking so that they will never miss their Everest day. Thank you.